What's up? It's Mike Lamastro from the band Nuse, and you're at Metal Rules TV, where the underground meets the playground. I'm Mike Lamastro, like I said.
Eric Manguel.
I'm Bob Manguel from Nuse.
And I'm Jeff Rappaport from Metal Rules TV. And our second news story of the night
News story number 2
is Death Wolf, formerly Devil's Whorehouse.
You know, I like the formerly.
Me too.
Yeah,
me too.
That has more of a punch.
That sounds like
the Whorehouse. It's got to be the Devil's.
Yeah.
A death wolf, yeah, I'm thinking Coors Light.
Yeah, Coors Light. Simple bullets around.
I think
Exactly.
it's a Death Wolf. That sounds like an old...
Death Wolf.
Death Wolf? Can you imagine a Death Wolf?
Yeah, I'm sure the guys from Death Wolf hate us.
Yeah, sorry about that, but
Yeah.
Sorry.
They're jokes, man.
It's the beer.
Anyways, it's a project of Marduk guitarist Morgan Haakonson. I never pronounced names right on the show, just so you know.
Haakonson.
There's a special
I don't know
symbol.
what that H
It's a
means.
symbol
What does
there.
that thing
There's a
mean?
symbol. It's a symbol for Borad.
Yeah.
It's an element.
Haakonson Fisty. I don't know. They're going to release their new album, 2, Black Armored Death, in February 2013.
That's a pretty cool name there for an album.
Black Armored
I
Death
think
is
that.
Yeah, I like that. It's the second album, so they have 2 in there. That's pretty clever.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So the first album was called Black Armored Death, and then I'll have Black Armored Death Part 2. Am I,
No, I think this first album was called something else. I think they're just calling this one 2, Black Armored Death.
Yeah. They're like a
I didn't do that much.
they're like a mixture of like punk and like
How much research you want me to do?
You know what, let me get my
I got a job.
We
I
can-
got a job, you know.
I have an iPhone to find out all that.
Wikipedia them. Aren't they like a mixture of like punk and like some kind of death
They're
or
kind of like death and there's goth in
Yeah.
there and there's
Yeah.
black metal and
Yeah.
it's a pretty good combination because I'm not, it's not like the go-to music that I go to, but
Yeah.
I don't know if any of you guys checked out any of the Death Wolf tracks. They're not bad. I liked what I heard.
I haven't heard the Death Wolf myself.
I actually did check
you
them out on
get Death
YouTube
Wolf?
last night.
You did?
Yeah, they're
You
pretty
didn't
good.
hear it.
What'd you say?
Are you Death Wolf? You didn't hear it.
Yeah. Huh? Did it say? So what did you heard it? So what did you think?
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was just a YouTube video on my iPhone, so I really couldn't, totally get into it. Plus it was about 2 o'clock in the morning, so.
But do you listen to Marduk at all? Because I like Marduk a lot.
I don't, unfortunately. I work a lot, so I don't get to listen to new bands as much as I like to. What do they sound like? This Marduk.
Marduk is like a black metal band.
Yo.
Yeah, exactly. They're a rap. Yo. Otherwise known as rap metal. Yeah.
NWA. I fucking love NWA.
Yeah.
But that's huge in Europe, though. Really huge in Europe.
It's kind of like NWG.
Yeah. I like when there's different like genres of black metal and
Yeah.
Marduk, work a lot on a traditional metal sound, but still have that like real dark black metal edge at the same time. So for you guys that are not into if you guys are not into black metal, they're a band you might want to check
I like
out
it,
because they still have the old. You can almost hear like thrash and stuff in it, but they're also like a lot heavier.
I mean, I like the older like DSI kind of thing,
Yeah.
Like I
Still,
enjoy.
there's a lot of talent to play like that, man. There's just a lot going on, man. I mean, you really have your skills
and
down, man.
the
that
drummers,
music, man.
although listen, we listens. It's black metal.
Yeah.
We listen to all kinds of genres. And
Just ask me a question.
yeah, exactly. But I mean, black metal. The drummers are incredible. Like their time.
Yeah, they're like machines.
It's great. It's good to listen to, but I have to do it in like spurts. I have to listen to it maybe at like a 45-minute clip.
We
here
played,
and there,
we played with Obituary
Love Obituary.
at the Marshmallow Meltdown.
Oh my God!
We went on right before them, so we got off and we were able to sit on the side of the stage, and I watched the drummer play, and I've never seen so it was so
just-
fast, and
It was mesmerizing.
AK-47, man. About
Yeah.
1,000 were
Yeah.
going off.
It was mesmerizing.
Tell you what, that was
sure.
Tell you what, mind blowing to see someone to play like that. Tell you what, that was one of my favorite parts of the whole day.
So
Without a
listen,
doubt.
talking
Obituary is
about
my
metal,
favorite.
I mean, there's metal just keeps on expanding and expanding. They're on VH1. They have the
Evolution of Metal.
Evolution of Metal, which is pretty cool. But stripped down black punk rock. I mean, it's like how many labels are you putting on a band?
Yeah.
You know
But
what I'm saying?
that's exactly what I like about heavy metal is the fact that there's no other genre of music that has that much going on. You could be listening to like Poison or like The Gathering or like Napalm Death, and it's all metal.
Exactly.
So like
Absolutely.
so that's why I think that's why metal is so much better than any other genre.
That's why it's got the greatest fans in the world.
That's
and
right.
including us, because we're all fans.
But you do get, I will say this though, you do get like certain metal fans, and it's probably not like the older guys, unfortunately, like us, who do really enjoy all the different genres. It's the younger kids that are just like, oh, they're weak, or oh, that ain't cool. Like you get a lot
They
of that.
pick one
infighting.
genre and they stay with it.
Yeah.
I'm always
Exactly.
fresh
Well,
metal.
yeah, exactly.
Back in the '80s, though, in the early '90s, it was more black and white because you had if you like Metallica, you only like Metallica. If you like Motley Crue, then you punch the guy in the face who liked Motley Crue. That's
Poser.
Yeah,
Poser metal.
Yeah,
Poser.
holy cow, yeah.
So there was that back in the '80s too. It was like either you got really hard or you put glam makeup on.
But dude, I have mixtapes from like the fucking '80s where it's like Venom and like I don't know, Motley Crue, and Rat.
Well, that's exactly how I like it, and that's kind of like the basis of how Metal Rules started was the fact that I could combine all these. Like I could have Striper and Napalm Death in the same issue.
Yeah.
Because I like
if you look
whatever
at
I like. I don't care if anybody likes it or not.
right, and on my record collection or whatever, I have the first Poison album and I have Napalm Death. In my, so people are pulling out
Nuclear
records.
Assault and
Right, you're gonna find
like
Overkill,
old school, like thrash and MOD and DRI.
There's also seeing like Michael Sweet, the singer of Striper, on that metal show, and they're talking about they were actually talking about having like Heaven and Hell Striper and Slayer tour.
Right.
How cool would that be? That would be to me. That would be pretty cool.
It's not too late. They can still do that.
They think absolutely.
You kind of look like Oz Fox in a way too.
Every interview we do, the host always tells Bob he looks like somebody. No, not necessarily him. It's either him or the bass player from Metallica or Tommy
You kind of
Araya.
like Robert Trujillo. You also kind of look like Tommy Araya.
Yeah.
I get it all.
You also look like Speedy Gonzalez a little bit.
Or Ron Jeremy.
He's more like Slowpoke Rodriguez.
I'm his cousin.
Hola, señor Gato. My name is Slowpoke Rodriguez.
Well, you can call that the A-Rod right now because he's got a
A-Rod, I got an A-Rod on my pants.
He's gonna be Slowpoke Rodriguez.
I have a giant cartoon head, and I understand it.
Yeah.
Man. It's
good.
I take it as a compliment because it's helped me out in my life.
There's a lot going on in his
A lot,
head.
a lot going on in this
like
head. It's got me laid. It's got me punched in the face. It's been all good.
So I guess that's what we have on Death Wolf, though, right?
That's wolf.
Those guys are gonna find us and punch us in the face.
Nose, who's nose? All right, sorry.